Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another edition of the Rended Wall tabletop sourcebook world setting developer diaries. I am here to give you some more updates to the progress towards getting the book put together and trying to find ways to get it published and out there so that people can play it and enjoy this lovely world that I am super excited about sharing with people. So, one thing I wanted to do today was just kind of go over the list that I have of actual, just kind of by the numbers, what the book is going to entail. Once it's all edited and put together, these are kind of the statistics, the breakdown of what will be included in the book, so that people can kind of know what to expect and what to look forward to once the book is actually put together. So, first and foremost, the world setting is meant to be played with what is described as a OGL license. I believe it's original game license for D20 games. So it's meant to be played as kind of a compatible setting for Dungeons and Dragons, or even Pathfinder. Pathfinder rules would totally work here. Um, and then I will include also some new mechanics and new rules for people that will give them a new kind of twist on things. So one of the things that I think that I have talked about before that I want to include in the game are mechanics for the more kind of internal life of the character, right? So not just statistics that determine how well they can swing a sword or cast a spell, but also how well they can deal with a lot of the really outlandish or horrific things that they're experiencing on their adventures, right? So I want to include mechanics for fear, which can elevate then to terror. So as it can build within a character, situations can become more and more difficult if they are overcome by the terror that they are feeling. Same thing with dreams. Everybody, when they sleep, experiences dreams. Uh, and even the ones that seem, from a more science fiction standpoint, that seem like they might not have dreams, they also will have, something in this statistic that will influence their gameplay. Dreams can then advance to visions. Visions would be way more intense and kind of waking dreams, things that you see while you're awake, or really intense nightmares and things that you have while you are asleep. Curiosity, I think, is something that's super important, especially for heroes and explorers, characters that want to fulfill this role in society, have a natural sort of curiosity that will lead them into, the depths of a ancient tomb or up the slopes of some kind of, magic mountain or something like that. So curiosity is just naturally present in these hero characters, but then curiosity can advance into obsession. So when that statistic gets too high, then certain situations in the game can be much more difficult because of that obsession that their character is feeling. And then finally, draw, which can advance into something that I'm just calling magnetism. So draw is the pull that a character might feel towards certain locations in the world, depending on their backstory, depending on the things that they may have experienced. So they may feel a certain draw to locations throughout the world. However, if that statistic gets too high for their character, then it turns into magnetism, where every step they take, they feel pulled in that direction. They feel compelled to go to a certain place or to do a certain thing that is almost something that they cannot deny within themselves. And so that's going to influence their gameplay as well. So that's just an example of some of the new mechanics that I want to bring into traditional D20 gameplay. So that will be all included and kind of described in the book. And then in addition to that, I've got this whole list of things kind of broken down by the number. So you will also have 16 new backgrounds to choose from all around Solaria. So it will be from all around the world that you're seeing here on screen. This is the Solarian world map. So you can have 9 backgrounds that are from this location, but then you have an option to play up to you can choose from 7 different backgrounds that are from other places that are not Solaria, that may be very mysterious and maybe bring a new twist to your gameplay because of how the people throughout the world are going to treat you based on your background, your origin, things about your person that may be mysterious to people, and they may treat you differently because of that. So that's a big thing. People will have a lot of new backgrounds to choose from. As you can see on the map, this is the world map. So there are a total of 14 full distinct regions in Solaria to explore just on this half of the map. So if things go well, if I am able to get book 2 and book 3 published, that would combine everything into the entire world basically. So book 2 and 3 then describe the other parts of this planet. But the first book here will focus specifically on the 14 distinct regions that you can see on the map. So a total of 10 of them are kind of landlocked together along the west and north parts of the map with this massive ocean with some island nations and kingdoms between. And then there are kind of more mysterious lands to the east and to the south. So those regions will be accessible to players once they have acquired a means to cross the ocean by by ship or whatever, or if the GM and the players decide to start their story in the east and west, then they would be locked into those specific locations until the party can advance to the point where they can, buy passage on a ship or hire a ship or purchase a ship of their own in order to cross over to the rest of Solaria. Now, big spoiler. So close your ears if you don't want this as a spoiler for the world. But eventually, players do will be able to explore the world to the extent that they may uncover flying ships like airships. So I was inspired a lot by the original Final Fantasy. So the very very first Final Fantasy game that was published way back in the 80s. The party eventually can gain access to an airship. It's basically just a big ship that can fly through the air and allows them much faster access to areas of the world, as well as much more kind of unlimited access. They can go places with the airship that they can't go with a sailing ship on the water. So that is a development that can eventually happen in Solaria, and players can eventually find a means to traverse the skies of Solaria, and that will also then open up ways for them to make it past this massive wall that encompasses their hemisphere and go explore the rest of the planet. So that's kind of a big step to allow players to open up the world and seek broader horizons, right? See what's on the other side of the wall. So that's all there kind of here. In this first book, everything is centered here. Everything is centered here in Solaria. So from level 1 to level 12, uh, players can advance, become stronger, gain more skills, more tools, have grander and more global scale adventures. But everything is self-contained in this one volume here on this hemisphere. So everything is here. So all of those regions then will break down into a total of 363 total locations. So they're within these, they can all kind of zoom in. Doesn't work with the map I have here, but like you can zoom in on the archipelago, and you can I'll have maps and descriptions for specific islands and then locations on those islands. Everything breaks down kind of step by step to give players and game masters a chance to just dig in and explore the world. The book will include at least 114 maps. I have a ton. Some of them are going to be real simple, right? Some of them are going to be real simple maps that may show a inn or a forest path or something where a small encounter may happen. Some of them are going to be a little bit grander scale, like palaces or maps of tombs or tunnels that the players are exploring that are a little bit more grand scale. And then, whole cities. I have a total of at least, I think, 30 plus city maps. So that's for everything from a capital city on down to small villages. I have tons of maps of specific cities that players can visit throughout the world. And then, 17, at least 17 regional or national maps that kind of will zoom out a little bit and show everything, all the specific places that players can go and explore. So tons of maps, at least 100 plus, easy. So those will all be available. First and foremost, you have the world map, and then it just kind of zooms in from there. At a lot of, there's castles, palaces, mountains, crypts, tombs, underground tunnels, vaults, everything you can think of to really have some amazing and fun adventures. And then, GMs can come in and obviously they can just explore and maybe make maps of their own of these places if they're not provided, because this is a flexible world, right? I may describe in the book a building or a location, but might not provide a map. But that doesn't mean you can't go in and just draw one up, or make one on the computer like I have here, and just make one for your adventure that fits the setting. I want players to be able to do that and to be able to kind of explore as they see fit. This is meant to be a big sandbox for people to look around. So, in addition to the maps and all of the regional descriptions of places, there's tons of lore, backstory, history of Celeria to describe everything to you and really let you know kind of why these things are here, what's happening, what's going on. And I'll have things marked in the book as spoilers, so if players are reading through and they see this little heading, they'll know, okay, skip this next section because I don't want to know. But game masters, if they want to know the history and the secrets behind the world, they can really find everything out. And I'll have it all kind of laid out for people so that they know what to expect and what they're seeing as they explore. So I also have homebrewed a ton of creatures through writing up this world and running games in it already. So I have 80 plus creatures that vary in different ways. I've also incorporated some kind of more traditional creatures as well. So it's up to game masters players how they want to do that. But I do have a lot of that information for new creatures that I mean they a lot of them will seem familiar, but they have new names, new look, statistics. I've written up stat blocks for all of them, so they are ready to just be popped into a game and played. Um, I also have incorporated into the world a group, and I don't want to reveal how many of them there are, but there are a certain number of very powerful creatures that many of the characters, the NPCs in the know, they simply refer to them as guardians. So they are creatures that, have these mythological abilities or proportions or what have you, that have this influence over the world in different ways. And players can discover these creatures and they can choose whether to ally themselves with them, or they can choose to turn against them and to kind of add these creatures to their bestiary and mark it down and go hunt them down if they so choose. It's up to the players how they want to deal with this new group of very powerful beings that roam the world in various spots around the globe. So that is there, and it's kind of an underlying current throughout adventures that you may some cultures may know of these creatures' presence, some may not. You may feel it, you may not. So there's hints and things throughout. So it won't come as a total surprise if they show up, but they are there, and that is an option for players to explore it. There are also a ton of NPCs. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm just kind of reiterating, kind of again, the what I have in the book and what will be included in the book when it's done. Ton of non-player characters, NPCs that you can interject into your adventure and can drive the plot forward. They can work as local rumor mills and simply point heroes in the right direction to start an adventure, or they can be fully immersed and be a major part of whatever story is being told between you and your players, right? So they are there, they have a role in the world, and it's up to you to be involved, have them involved in your story or not. It's not necessary, but they are there to help kind of flesh the world out and make it feel more real. So that's a major breakdown kind of everything that I have that I am like ready to share with the world. I do have a wish list for close to 200 art pieces for everything from covers to brief sketches, insignia for different nations, to actual artwork that will display a setting in the world, or a place or a group of characters or whatever that can kind of bring the world to life. So that wish list is there. That is kind of the second thing I wanted to talk about, not just the checklist of things that I have in the book, but also kind of where I'm at right now. I have a lot of things as I just listed off. I have a ton of things that are written and are here that make Celeria a real place. For me, it feels very real. I've been working on this for a very long time, and it feels very real, and it's something I'm super passionate about. I want to get it out there and share it with people. But as a creative, I feel like I've kind of I can still work on it. I can still continue to write in it and, make it polished and all of that. The work's never done in that regard. I understand that. So I will continue to do that. But as a creative, I've kind of hit a wall where I can't I don't know what else to do to really make this happen. So I obviously, as I've mentioned, I have a Kickstarter that I'm working on putting together. But I look at the checklist of things that Kickstarter asks for in a campaign that they or anything that they will launch, and it's very daunting. Some of it is, they talk about a prototype, having a prototype that you can show off. And I don't have that. I can print off what pages I have and just have a stack of paper, and I can show you the digital maps that I have. But that's not really a prototype. It's not really a working item or anything that I can show people, that I can show backers. I have what I have, but I need other people to help me make the artwork. I have this wish list for artwork, but I need people that can do that. I'm not a good artist in that regard. I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at painting. So I need people that can help me do that. I need I need people that can help me kind of maybe figure out. If anybody out there has any experience with putting a Kickstarter campaign together, please let me know, because I would welcome any help or advice. I am kind of at this point where I feel very intimidated and overwhelmed by what feels like needs to be done in order to make this happen. I there are options out there that I could take all of my stuff, all of my entire idea, and I could take it to an established publisher that already puts these kinds of books out there, and I could submit it to them. I can definitely do that. I understand that there are other options out there. I would prefer to be able to make this a crowdfunded project. I would prefer to be able to say, like, me and my friends and my supporters made this happen, instead of sending in a submission and crossing my fingers and just really hoping that it catches the right person's eye, and that they would be willing to move forward with it. I feel so strongly about this world and how it looks and how it would play for people in it, that to have I want to have some influence over how it shapes into a book. I want to have some kind of direction over what happens. I don't just want to give people my documents and my maps and be like, okay, it's all in your hands now. I think I would want to be able to have my foot in my hands in the pie, so to speak, in artwork and things like that. I want to be able to say, like, oh yeah, that looks how I expected it to look. I don't want there to be, a painting in the source book of a city or a place or a person or a creature that is completely opposite from how I envisioned it. That would make me feel not great about it. I want to be able to say, like, oh yeah, that's as close as I think we can come, to somebody translating what I have in my head onto paper. I want to be able to find talented artists that can help me make it and help me put it together, and that's super important to me. I cannot handle. I don't want to have any AI art. I don't want to have anything like that. I want to find people that can look at the source material, that can look at the maps and the documents and be like, oh, the way you describe this place or this thing sounds really awesome. Let me make that into a picture. Let me visualize that with you, and let's bring it to life. Not just, oh, I'm going to take your description and put it into a prompt and we'll see what the computer thinks it should look like. No, I want you to use your imagination and your soul and your heart to bring it to life. So that's just really important to me, and that's something where once I have the funding, I can look for people, I can hire people, Once again, if you're watching this and you have any sort of art ability and you would be interested in starting up talks to be included in a project like this, please, please contact me. Please message me. I would love to hear from you because like I don't have funding now. I don't. But if you feel passionately about a project like this, that you think, oh, this sounds like a fun thing to be involved in, please let me know because then when I do have funding, you'll be first on my list, and I'll be like, hey, it's time. Let's make some art. Let's put this together and make this dream of mine into a reality. So that's where I'm at. I really need help. I'm going to continue to put together my Kickstarter campaign. As I've said before, I will let everyone know when it is ready. But for right now, it feels it is just very overwhelming trying to put everything together. So yes, any support or any advice, any even just encouragement or moral support that you can offer me would be very welcome and very much appreciated because I'm just I'm struggling right now. This is hard. This is a hard process. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about my world. This is going to be a lot of it, you know, me just talking about my world and being really excited about it and hoping to get other people excited about it too. But um, yeah, I appreciate any support that anybody can give me, even if it's as simple as just a simple thumbs up or a subscription here on YouTube. Like literally any tiny little thing helps. So tell your friends about this project. Get more people interested in it. Get more people watching these videos, getting to know me. I think that's a big part of it. I'm the creator of this world. I want people to know who I am. If you have questions about me, if you have questions about me, my life, you want to know about my cat, any of those things, please let me know because I am here. I would love to just like yeah, make some friends, make some connections, and get to know some people who might be excited to play in my world. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you all.